President Bola Tinubu yesterday said if governors could provide land, he would unveil a comprehensive plan that would solve the farmer-herder clashes in the country within 2 or 3 weeks. Tinubu spoke in Minna while inaugurating the remodeled Minna Airport Terminal and commissioning some agro-processing equipment purchased by the Niger state government. He urged the state governors to quickly pay the 30,000 naira wage award to workers to ease their financial stress. He charged governors, and I quote, to provide the land. I, as the president, I am committed to giving you in 2-3 weeks' time a comprehensive program that will solve this problem, end of quote. President Tinubu also flagged off the food security and agricultural mechanization program in Niger State. He emphasized that his administration remains committed to ensuring food sufficiency and protecting local industries for sustainable economic growth. The project, an initiative of the Niger State government, is for the deployment of cutting-edge agricultural machinery and technology for large-scale agro-value chain development in the state. Speaking at the inauguration, President Tinubu said Nigeria must enhance its capacity to feed its people and have enough for export.
We must care for people. We must rearrange our farming population, including livestock program. I don't see why Nigeria cannot feed all the pupils in our school with 1 pint of milk in a day. If our daily system is well harnessed, it is necessary for me to support you. It is mandatory as Nigerians. When you read paper, some of us are confused whether to abuse the present or the past or make excuses for the future. Not in my dictionary.
All right, Rufai, your take on this story.
Okay, so good photo-ops there in Niger. President Tinubu also saw a couple of people, saw former president. I think I saw a picture with former leader Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida and the governor of Niger State and a couple of other people there. There are many stories around that, but good photo-op there. This is called agricultural, machinery revolution, as it were. And when you look at it, a lot of agricultural installation was done in Niger by the governor to be able to push farming and agricultural, growth of the state and outcome. It's a good photo op, but I'm more concerned about implementation and outcomes. It's not to buy a tractor and do photo ops. What's the outcome? And my heart bleeds for Niger a lot. Niger has 76,000 square kilometers of land. But the shocking thing now is that 85% of those land are arable. That's about 64,000 square kilometers of land you can actually plant on and get proceed on. With that kind of land, Niger should be able to have sustainable agricultural practices to be able to feed the country. But today, we can barely feed. The price of food very high because of banditry. Most of those lands in Niger are inundated with bandits and criminals. How can we flush them out? So it's not by launching agricultural products. It's also by ensuring that to a large extent, there's protection for farmers. Because after sharing this, yes, it might not be pervasive across the farmers, except we do the work at ensuring that there's security, then nothing will happen. The second one that the president said is going to solve a problem that has been there for many years, he must be a miracle worker. In weeks, I doubt. I would like the president to give us empirical facts. If he is given land, how he's going to solve this farmer-herder crisis. Empirical fact, because you see, that problem has also taken many very ethnic and religious dimensions to it. There's also a land grabbing to the effect of, some form of nationalism going on. So it's not just an issue on the surface of it. And I just hope it is not just another campaign promise or bluster. He needs to be able to give us empirical facts of how he's going to solve the problem on ground. In fact, before he wants to solve the header farmer crisis, he should solve the insecurity as regards what farmers are facing. He should ensure that the 150,000 hectares of land, there's fully cultivation on those land first, before he thinks of solving this header farmer crisis in less than 2 weeks or thereabouts. I mean, we need to see results and outcome. Niger is a gold mine if we utilize it properly.
All right.
Well, I mean, the president visited Niger State to commission agricultural equipment worth billions of naira. And in that regard, he recommended to other states, subnationals, to take agriculture seriously. And he made a point that he was not giving an order, he was just offering an advice. And that it would be a good thing if these states could come together as clusters, to exploit, take advantage, process each other's comparative advantage in the area of agriculture. And that what Governor Bago has started in Niger State is a very good development. And incidentally, we're told that Benue, Kogi, Kwara, and Lagos already have some kind of partnership in the area of agriculture. For example, Niger State is expected, has agreed to supply about 30,000 tons of paddy to Lagos State for the rice project in Lagos State. Now, so I think the president is on point in that regard by saying that partnership is important to move forward and that other states should follow the good, bold example of Niger State. Niger State has arable land, of course, but I get the point and I share the view that the first thing that has to be sorted out is security. You recall that even in the since President Tinubu got there, we have had serious security issues in Niger State, with the governor of that state lamenting that people are not safe in many of the villages. So for farmers to be able to go to their farms for the green initiative or green imperative, they call it, or the Niger agenda to be realized, then of course there must be safety for those farmers. And that is the only way they can use this equipment that the state government has procured. And then of course the president used the opportunity to also tell state governors to pay 30,000 that has been provided for the minimum wage that has been provided for their workers, so that the people can be in a better position. And I think that that is also on point. The third thing that he now said is that if governors give him land, and he was saying if governors give him land, because land is kept in trust by state governors under Section 1 of the Land Use Act of 1979. That's the reference there, that he will be able to solve the problem of herders and farmers clashes, that he empathizes with farmers, whose crops are attacked by cattle grazing and all of that. Well, I don't see what magic he can do in 2-3 weeks. The president is just talking about coming up with a comprehensive plan. One would have expected that the problem of farmers-herders clashes is not something just coming up. It's foreseeable. It's been on the table. And that comprehensive plan that he now says he will come up, he will produce within 2 to 3 weeks. Hey, as president, he should already have that plan. We should be talking now about the implementation. However, there was a presentation also by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, talking about, a partnership with Brazil and also, a German bank that is providing money to promote the green initiative in Nigeria, and also partnership with Tata Deere Group, John Deere Group, which is a subsidiary of Tata Equipment, to procure about 10,000 tractors. We hope, that the process of procuring that will be transparent, and that the Minister of Agri is not just giving an audio promise. In other words, Niger State government focusing on agriculture, the Tinubu administration focusing on agriculture, it's a good idea. After all, in this country, we once had agriculture as the mainstay of the economy. If the effort is to return to that and to address the challenge of food insecurity, then of course, the Tinubu administration deserves praise, and the partnership between Niger State and other states is also a welcome development. But first, we have, to worry about securing the farmlands.
All right, so congratulations to Niger State. Earlier on, the governor, Umar Bago, had actually said that he shouldn't be referred to as His Excellency and he would like to be referred to as Farmer Bago. And this was in line with his commitment to agriculture or developing agriculture in the state. And this commissioning or launch was part of his promise to ensure that he's able to improve agriculture in the state. And a number of people have, what I would mention is that two things must happen for there to be progress in that area in the state. One, of course, is security, and that is why that was on the table in terms of conversations at the launch, because the farmers will not go to their farms, despite how nice the equipment or how sophisticated the equipment are, if they are not guaranteed that when they go to their farms, they are safe. And earlier on this year, the governor had said that, the farms are safe, farmers are eager to go back to their farms now. But it's not just about announcement and making these very good public statement. Is actually in the actions. And that's why perhaps the president then took the launch opportunity to discuss or almost say that the reason why they've not been able to win this war against the farmer-herder clash or to contain it is because the governors are not cooperating in terms of providing land. Hence, he said, if you can give me land, 2 to 3 weeks, I will solve this problem. I hope the governors will take up this challenge because we want to see a solving of these issues in 2 to 3 weeks' time. I don't think any governor who has seen their people suffer or the lives, as estimated by SPD policy, as over 60,000 people being killed by the farmer-herder clashes, die if they can only give land. This conversation has been ongoing from the Buhari administration, where it's been talked about, if the governors of each state can provide land for grazing so that, the herders would not go into the farmers' lands where they eat their crops, and then that causes conflict, and then we see all these these mindless killings that happen. I'm hoping that the governors will rise up to this challenge and indeed provide land. Something else that happened in Niger State was the renaming of the airport. So the airport was renamed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Airport, and the federal government and the government of Niger State had mentioned that this was done as a result of the immense support they've enjoyed from the president. Recall that just before the end of the last administration's tenure, there were about 15 international airports that were renamed, including the Minna Airport. The Minna Airport was called the Abubakar Imam Airport, and now, following this remodeling and recommissioning, it's now been called President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Of course, a number of comments around this. And it's interesting to see that in 9 months, the governor can adjudge the president as having done enough work to rename an airport after him. But when it comes to analyzing how much work they've done in tackling the economy, security, they say 9 months is too short. It's very interesting. But congratulations to the people of Niger State. I hope they'll be able to maximize the use of this equipment. And also, of course, we'll see an improvement in security situation so that farmers can go back to the farm. Well, with no news on efforts to free 287 students abducted by terrorists last Thursday in Kaduna State, bandits who abducted 16 residents of the Gonin-Gora area of the Kaduna metropolis on February 28 have demanded a ransom of 40 trillion naira for their release. John Yusuf, a community leader of the area, said apart from the 40 trillion naira, the bandits are also asking for 11 Hilux vans and 150 brand new motorcycles. The community leader said the bandits invaded the community 2 times within a week. During the first attack, 3 people were kidnapped, while in the second attack, 13 others were abducted, bringing the total number of people being held captive to 16. He called for the establishment of a military base to check the activities of criminals.
They came in number. So while these people are calling a money that even federal government don't have it. Can you imagine 40 trillion? They are requiring 40 trillion.
For the 13%?
Yes, for the 13%. 40 trillion. Our budget is not even up to that. 40 trillion. Is it 11 Hilux car? Then 150. Is it Boko Haram? I don't know the name of that bikes. 140. Honda. Where do we Honda car? How do they get this money? People are living hand to mouth now. And you are asking them to bring this huge amount of money. Where do they get this money? In fact, government should come and help us. If not, these people will die in their hand. Please, we are calling on government to please help us. come to our aid by providing security to us. In fact, if we have a military base by that side, they will be able to prevent this occurrence. This bandit will not be able to come if we have this military base in the outskirts of Goningora.
The audacity, the boldness, 40 trillion naira ransom from bandits. Before I take on this story.
How would they not ask for 40 trillion? They will ask for even 100 trillion when government has shown a large amount of incompetence. Never ascribe to malice what you can explain with incompetence. And that's why I was shocked that the government spokesperson said sub-regional forces are the ones that are attacking Nigeria for kidnapping. I dare him, whoever you are, mention those sub-regional forces. Mention them. Pick them one by one. You see, we should stop this government of smokescreen and propaganda. Sit down and solve the problem. Lack of welfare in the military, lack of battle equipment, many attendant problems, economic malaise, all of these things coalesce together to form the centripetal and centrifugal forces of societal disintegration that we are seeing. And it didn't start today. So don't push the blame on anybody. Bandits will have the effrontery to ask for 40 trillion. When, as of today, they've kidnapped people, we've not made attempt to release them. And that's why you have people like Sheikh Gumi now coming out to say that I can help you negotiate with the bandits. There was a story that was released. A journalist was tackled for that story. That, oh, negotiators has come in place. But the truth is, are we not going to go through this cycle just like we negotiated to release the Kaduna-bound train victims? And some of them were killed before that time. And people had to pay heavy ransom. When you have a failure of a government, non-state actors will take over. In every state, government must have the higher amount of violence. But when the non-state actors can kidnap people without no repercussion, and they can go scot-free with it, they will make demands. They will ask for 40 trillion. What I would advise this government to do is stop passing the buck. Reinforce the military, look for possibilities as regards state police, equipping the vigilante system, look for proper reconnaissance, go into those bushes and bring people out. I know you will now talk about, oh, there's collateral damage, but we need to stamp our foot down against this once and for all.
The community, Goningora in Kaduna State, was attacked twice in 1 week towards the end of February. Now, the people had no defense. On February 29, they trooped to the highway just to protest that government should come and save them and make their lives better. Now, we're told that there is the community is surrounded by bushes and all of that, which the bandits use, to access the community. But twice, nobody could help them. And this is the point we always make, that the people find themselves in a helpless situation when it comes to security. Communities are attacked, women are raped, children are killed, everybody is kidnapped. In this particular community, 62 persons were killed, 16 were kidnapped within the space of 1 week. And now the community leader, John Yusuf, says they've now heard from the kidnappers. The kidnappers, the bandits, they're asking for 40 trillion naira. That's almost double Nigeria's annual budget. The budget for this year, the proposal, the budget is put at 28.7 trillion. And, you find the bandits, asking for more than the national budget of the entire country. And which was why the spokesperson for the community was saying that, in fact, even if we were to sell the entire community, they won't be able to get that 40 trillion naira. And it's not just 40 trillion naira they're asking for. They're asking for 150 motorcycles and 11 Hilux vans. It again points to the state of helplessness in which Nigerians have found themselves and the inability of Nigeria to protect lives and property within its borders. So I think this should be seen as a wake-up call by the government, not just of Kaduna State. Was it not in the same Kaduna State that there was a similar incident the other day? This is yet another one. So you keep having this tales of woe and misery in different parts of the country. I think it's most unfortunate, but what government must take away from this is that its primary responsibility is to ensure the security and welfare of the people. And if bandits have become so bold that they are asking for 40 trillion naira to release 16 persons that they have kidnapped, who should not be kidnapped in the first place? The only reason those persons are still with the kidnappers is because Nigeria happened to them. And when Nigeria happens to you, the story is not always a good story to tell. The responsibility of government talking about who is to turn that story around, to change the narrative so that the people of Nigeria can be happy.
In the words of Afenifere, no more excuses, go after terrorists. To be honest, when I saw this claim or this demand by the bandits, 40 trillion naira, I thought, in more unpalatable words came to my mind, but for TV this morning, they must be out of their minds. But beyond that is the fact that I don't have any business speaking to them or speaking about them because these are a bunch of jokers, but jokers who have become terrors to Nigerians. Bandits who are going about and who have the boldness and audacity to not just kidnap a group of people, but go back to the same area and kidnap again, almost making a total mockery of our security agents and the military base that is said to be in that area. Now, one thing I will say about this is that our challenge or our talk today is to our president and to the leaders, to the governors, because at the end of the day, the reason why this brazen nonsense can happen is because this administration, unfortunately, thus far, has seemed to be tackling these menace with kids' gloves. The proper response to this insult should be a head-on, and further attack and rescue of these kidnapped victims. What happened to the children, over 200 of them who have been kidnapped? Where are they? What happened to all the ones in Borno State? Where are they? What investigations, what arrests have been done? What rescue efforts have been made? This is over 1 week we're talking about. Why won't they come out and make ridiculous demands like this? It is a mockery on this administration, and I hope that they will respond with force. Well, other news making the headlines this hour. The Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission has rebuffed alleged non-remittance of 151.121 billion naira into Federation account. Nigerian political parties on Monday called for a probe into the allegation made by the chairman, Senate Committee on Population, Abdul Ningi, that 3.7 trillion naira was padded in the 2024 budget. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Joe Biden said on Monday he has not scheduled a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry has agreed to resign following weeks of mounting pressure and increasing violence in the country. A former Boeing employee known for raising concerns about the firm's production standards has been found dead in the U.S.